Tom's River Show. Pat O'Melia here. You a concerned Tom's River resident there. I'm filming the Tom's River Show from our North Bergen studio. We're doing a big live debate tonight, so I'm up in the North Bergen studio. Today's show is all about Mo Hill. He's our guest throughout the show. We got a few things we're going to talk about. You got a change of ownership with the ShopRite on Fisher Boulevard. I'm sure you're aware of that. You got a Halloween parade this weekend in Tom's River. And if you need to get in touch with me before we go to Mo, everything's on the bottom of the screen. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. If you need to get in touch with me, send me an email on my email address there. You got an issue with Tom's River, the County of Ocean, you got a consumer issue, we're more than happy to help you. And when we come back from commercial, our guest for the entire show will be the mayor of Tom's River, Maurice, Mo, Admiral, Mayor, Dr. Hill. And we'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one path stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer a Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
We're back. You're watching the Tom's River Show. As I promised, our guest today is the mayor of Tom's River, my friend Maurice Mo Admiral Mayor Hill. Dr. Mayor, Dr. Mo also. He got a lot of titles. You're looking good there, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. We've had a good run of positive things going on in Tom's River. The big news was the VA and the cancellation of the community disaster loan that we had. We're going to be saving about $3 million. So a lot of positive things going on in Tom's River.
Well, you were big on the VA coming to Tom's River,
Yes.
and for a while you thought you were going to lose that.
Well, I think everybody thought it was going to be in Brick because that's where the current location is. But the traffic pattern over there, I always felt the site on Hooper Avenue was better. It was, you had New Jersey Transit service that area. The new social services building for the Ocean County Social Services is going to be right next door. It just 2 banks on either side, 2 malls, Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, all within that close area. So it made sense for the veterans, kind of one-stop shopping. So
now, when you went to the VA to talk on behalf of Tom's River, did you have your Admiral full dress uniform on?
No, interestingly, you couldn't talk to them. You couldn't influence them. But they looked at several sites. We knew we were in the running. A lot of newspapers said, "Oh, it's been in Brick. They already approved a site plan and everything." But I never lost faith. I thought if the VA looked at it as an honest broker, that the place that made the most sense was Tom's River. And I've gotten a lot of positive feedback since then from veterans.
Did they eventually call you and say Tom's River's the winner?
They did call us the very end of July 31st. They gave us a call and said the contract had been awarded to Stonewater, which was the developer who was interested in our site. So we knew then. We waited until they made their official announcement before we announced anything, though.
Well, that's a good feather in your cap, because I remember during the election for mayor of Tom's River,
Yes.
You were talking about the VA.
Yeah.
So you
I
were a
was
big proponent
passionate
of that.
about it. I was I was passionate about it. As you know, we have the largest amount of veterans in New Jersey and Ocean County. We have about 44,000. And I just thought the county seat and the location on Hooper Avenue was the best site. And I was passionate about it. And I told people I wasn't ashamed to campaign for that. And it was one of the campaign issues I had. And I'm glad it finally came to pass. It's a very
Now,
positive thing for
you
Tom's
mentioned
River.
before that you're $3 million to the plus now from the Sandy
Yes.
funds. All right, what are you going to do with the $3 million?
Well, it's going back. It's going to make a difference in our budget. So hopefully we'll be able to keep the tax rate stable. That we had built that $3 million payment in over the next couple of years. So we'll keep that there for capital projects or anything that may come down the pike, any unexpected expenses. And we
Yeah,
don't
like a
know what
rainy
our
day fund?
healthcare costs are going to be and stuff. Yeah, exactly. We don't know what the healthcare costs are going to be. We have negotiations with a couple of unions, so it'll keep us in a buffering position. It's already planned into the budget, so we'll keep it. If worst case scenario, it'll just add to our surplus, and we'll be able to stabilize the rate going forward.
Yeah, and you're giving money to the seniors, senior rebate, something like that. That's always a good thing to do.
That the state does with their senior freeze and their tax rebate on the property taxes. So,
Yeah.
so I think we've got that covered from the state level. So this would be more for the local level.
Well, 'cause you're right. With the way the inflation is going right now, shortages in the supermarkets, the price of gas went up 10 cents a gallon last night. Amazingly, I'm fueling up this morning. And I said, wait, I just fueled up yesterday too. And it wasn't almost $4 a gallon. So you don't know where,
No, I
where
know.
the economy is
Even
going
when
to be.
you go to Costco, even when you go to Costco now, I go there usually early Sunday morning to fuel up because I've got a Suburban, and so once a week I'll go to Costco early, usually Sunday morning when I'm up, and the gas did jump. It was $3.17 when I was there on Sunday, so I don't know if it's any higher.
Well, I've been running between the North Bergen studio and the Seaside studio. And the last 2
Yeah.
days, I filled up at the Quick Check on 37. It went up
Yes.
10 cents since yesterday to today. And I asked the kids that are
Well-
pumping the gas, I said, am I mistaken? Did it go up 10 cents a gallon? And the guy's looking and goes, wow, you're right. So they must have, the computer must reset the pumps.
They can change. I've seen it change from the morning to the afternoon when we had the gas shortages. It would change that fast. So, again, it depends on supply and demand. And as we know, the supply's been cut down with some of the moves that our president made. And unfortunately, it's resulted in higher fuel costs.
Let me break for commercial, and we'll come back on the fuel and other shortages we have. You're watching the Tom's River Show. My guest is Mayor Mo Hill. We'll be right back.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
We're back. You're watching the Tom's River Show. Pat O'Melia here, and now the mayor of Tom's River, Mo Hill. Welcome back, Mayor. You know,
Welcome.
we
Good to see you.
we were talking about the shortages and the inflation going up. Later in the interview, I'm going to ask you about the change of ownership from the Perlmutter shop rights to the Shaker. You know, you go in there now, because I went to get Cremora for my coffee, and it's amazing how many empty spaces there is on the shelves there. Is that a concern for you as the mayor of Toms River, that there are shortages appearing all over?
They're in isolated areas. I noticed in a couple of them, paper goods seem to be an issue. When I was out I stopped by one of the food stores, Stop and Shop in Brick over the weekend, and it seemed like there were isolated areas where there were shortages. Thankfully, they still seem to have meat, bread, milk, the basic staples. I get concerned. Most of that, we're fortunate in this country that we grow enough food to feed ourselves. The problems we have are with other supplies that we need to get from other countries. As you know, there's a host of ships sitting off the LA harbor, which is the largest harbor in the country, and they just they can't unload these containers fast enough. And again, you've got people that haven't returned to work. With the increased gas prices, that's going to affect shipping and trucking. Once you get the container off and you put it on a truck bed, it's got to be hauled away. And with the increased costs in gas, we're going to start to see that at the consumer level, and that concerns
I think as of this morning, there are 80 ships waiting to get in to the port of LA. But we don't have that situation on the East Coast here. East Coast, there's not a fleet of ships out there.
Yeah, I don't know that the New York Harbor has that many ships. I did see where Florida opened up their ports. They said that if there's a backup, they're willing to have vessels redirected to them if there's a problem on the East Coast. But we don't seem to have the problem on the East Coast we do on the West Coast. But
well, like you said before, if we manufactured this stuff in the United States, we wouldn't be worrying about the importing.
No.
The White House made light of it by saying it's the terrible shortage of the Stepmaster machines, the treadmills. That's what they use, treadmills.
Yeah, I think that's being condescending. I agree. I think we're going to need to bring some of these essential things back to this country for manufacture. The one thing that comes to mind now are chips. I've seen pictures of trucks that are just sitting there waiting for chips. I drove by Pine Belt Chevrolet the other day to have my vehicle serviced, and for the first time in my memory, their lot is completely empty. They have no new vehicles, and they're now selling their used cars on their showroom floor. And I hear people telling me that they're getting calls. You bought a car from us 6 months ago. They're willing to pay you more than you paid for the car to bring it back and sell it. So
one of the sponsors of the Toms River Show is Stevens Ford of Jersey City. Same problem. They can't get the chips, and whatever new cars are coming in, they're sold like in a snap of a finger.
And some of them, I'm told, are being.
You look at the municipalities. You put out an RFP for pickup trucks or vans or trucks. You're paying probably $5,000 or $6,000 more than you did last year.
Plus the waiting time is backed up. I know on our sanitation trucks, it can sometimes be more than a year before we'll get ownership of them, even though we're ordering them now. Just the supply chain, as you said, that's a real issue going forward.
It's like we're in Cuba or Venezuela here, where the shelves are empty. We can't get. The only thing I can relate this to, and we're of a certain age, if you remember the 70s with the gas crisis, when we were cut off, odd and even $3. That was the only thing I can compare this to.
Odd even, and you were waiting on long lines. I was stationed up in Newport at the time, and for me to come home and visit family, I had to fuel up on the base, and then plan my trip back so I'd be in either an odd or an even day to fuel up in New Jersey to make it back to Newport. So, those were inconvenient times, and I would have thought we would have learned a lesson, but apparently not. Now we've got shortages. I heard the president wants OPEC to produce more oil when I know for a while, about a year or so ago, we were self-sufficient. We weren't importing oil. We were exporting oil, as a matter of fact.
The president has cut out the pipelines. He's put caps on the oil, the petroleum industry. We're having a problem. He's putting caps on natural gas. We're talking about a green economy here and green energy. We're not ready for that. We need now. We're looking at heating oil being 50% more expensive this year than it was last year. I don't know how our seniors can deal with that.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. I mean, I think down the road we will find alternative sources of energy. Wind farms. Solar energy. I would have thought by this time that the solar technology, you'd have a roofing shingle that would look like a normal shingle, but it'd have photovoltaic cells in it, and you could put that on your roof. Right now, the big solar panels, if your front of your house faces south, it's not an attractive look for the front of the house. So until they get that fixed, and in the wind farms, the other problem is those blades, when they degrade, they're fiberglass, and they have to bury them. They can't recycle them. So until they come up with some way to recycle the blades, you're trading one thing for another. You've got landfills that are being filled up with these old blades.
Well, let me break for commercial. We'll pick this up. You know what? We'll actually talk about Tom's River when I come back. All right, we're going to break for commercial. Mayor Mo Hill is my guest. We'll be right back. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
A brand new truck isn't just a brand new truck when it's tough enough to have best-in-class available payload and smart enough to know that a cab can also be an office. A truck equipped with best-in-class available towing that asks, why can't all that power more than just this truck? No, your brand new truck isn't just a brand new truck when it's the all-new F-150. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
We're back. Tom's River Show. Pat O'Melia here, and by the magic of television and computers, the mayor of Tom's River, Mo Hill. There he is. Nuclear energy. That can solve everything, but that's bad word, nuclear. Even though it burns.
Well, you got problems with the spent fuel rods, but you're right. Nuclear power can be one source.
As ex-Navy, you know about nuclear powered ships.
Oh yeah, listen, the submarines are all nuclear powered.
Yeah, all the carriers are now.
Yes.
What do you say? What do we say? We talk about Tom's River.
Sounds good.
You got a campaign coming up. Early voting starts this weekend. I think it's October the 23rd. Big campaign for you on the level of your own race for mayor. All your ward seats are up. Tell us, take us through this campaign. It's interesting. You got really three parties. You got your Republican organization, the Renegade organization that's aligned with George Gilmore, and you got those pesky Democrats. Take me through all this.
The Democrats are united. The Republicans aren't. You're correct. Our Ward 3 and 4 candidates, Jim Quinslick and Dave Sikosi, are recognized by the Republican Party, and not only in Tom's River, the recognized Republican Party, but also the Ocean County GOP. We had two candidates win in Wards 1 and 2, Justin Lamb and current Councilman Dan Roderick in Wards 1 and 2. And then the Democrats are united. They're all, from the Tom's River Democratic Club. You've got Michelle Williams in Ward 1, Jeff Horn in Ward 2, Karen Sage in Ward 3, and Terrence Turnback, who's a sitting councilman in Ward 4. So it's going to be an interesting race. I will tell you that I'm with the candidates in Wards 1 and 2, the literature they're put out, I find to be a little misleading. For some reason, I'm on the front page of one of their flyers. I'm not running for another 2 years, but I think one of the candidates who's running has hopes of running for mayor in 2 years, and that's fine. But let's discuss your platform and your accomplishments. And unfortunately, he doesn't have any accomplishments to point to, so it's all attack, attack, attack.
Are you more concerned
which is
about
starting to wear a little thin.
the renegade Republicans or the Democrats? Because I don't need to remind you, the last time around, the Democrats took 3 of those 4 council seats with Maria
Yes.
Maruca, who amazes me didn't get reelected. She won by about 200 votes the last time around.
Yeah, you and me. I will tell you, I served with Maria on the council before I was a mayor, and there is not a harder working person on the council than Maria Maruca. And it bothered me a lot that she did not win the primary. And I can't for the life of me explain how she lost, but it was all attack, attack, attack. And apparently attack ads get votes, which is disappointing because she had an exemplary record of service for the people in Ward 1. But
I know Maria
we'll see.
for about 12, 14 years. Not disparaging her opponent, but Tom's River will miss Maria Maruca.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping
She
we
has
can
been-
bring her back to Seaside Heights to run the BID.
No,
We can get her back.
Not happening. Not happening. Not happening.
Now, are you
She's-
concerned
she's-
about the Democrats?
Yeah, listen, it's a gubernatorial election, so you've got Murphy at the top of the ticket, who's a sitting governor, Jack Citarelli, who I think will do very well in Ocean County, and that might be a problem for the Democrats. If there's a strong Republican turnout, it could be a problem for the Democratic Party in Ocean County. I don't know what's going to happen in the state. I hear that the polling is pretty close. I've heard Jack speak a number of times. I've had interactions with Governor Murphy. I think Jack's a very strong candidate. I support him. I think I like what he has to say about school funding issues. I think the current funding is seriously broken, and I think we need a change. And I don't think that's going to happen if we stay with the same governor. They pushed this S2 through, and it's been very disruptive for the Toms River school system. I say all the time, Toms River is very efficient in the education of their students. We have between 14 and 15,000 students. The average cost is about 17,000 per student, yet they keep cutting our state aid. And they cut it to the level where we can't replace it by just increasing the school tax, because you've got a cap of 2%. They'll cut us 5% in school aid. You can't replace it. So you're left with a hole in the budget, and you're winding up cutting extracurricular activities. And I'm a big believer in the fact that, when you go to school, there's more than just reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's the after school programs that stimulate a lot of our students, and that's the career they're going to go into. Athletics will give kids a chance to get a scholarship to college where they may not have gone. You've got theatrical programs, you got artistic programs, you got music, you got different clubs. And this is what keeps the students interested in school. And a lot of them determine where they're going to go based on their extracurricular activities.
Well, the school issue is a problem everywhere, even in the homeland, Jersey City, where everybody from Toms River originally comes from. Jack, I think Jack cut the lead down to single digits now with Murphy. For that matter, we had Jack on my show, The Shore Show. And if you look at the ad that the governor's running right now, the Extreme ad, the last shot of that ad is Jack on my set. They lifted that from my interview. All right, Mayor, we'll take one more commercial break and then finish the show. We did a whole show with Mo. We're gonna break for commercial, and we'll be back with Mayor Mo Hill. We'll be right back. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. We're back. You're watching the Tom's River Show. Pat O'Melia here, the mayor of Tom's River there, Mo Hill. We got about 3 minutes, Mo. First, before we get to asking you to endorse anyone, the open space tax, it's on your ballot in Tom's River.
Yeah, it's very important. We've expended a lot of our open space on land that we've purchased previously. We bought about 400 acres, $25 million. So if we get the residents to approve the 1 cent, it's going to mean we can bond and purchase land for about $16 to $18 million, which will allow us to preserve land. We, as you know, round 4 is coming up in 2025. So we'd like to take some of that open space and preserve it. It's been a big issue in campaigns, so I'm hoping the residents will support us in this referendum issue.
And you can buy more sand for Audley Beach.
We've got that covered, believe it, but it's the inland properties. We have a couple of large parcels over 10 acres that we'd like to preserve from further development.
Well, you bought the surf club.
Yes.
You know, that's a good feather in your cap there too.
Yes.
And that goes to open space, right?
Yep. It will, yes. It's a partnership with the state and the county. So it's a 3-way partnership.
Big thing here. Your Halloween parade is returning after a 1-year absence.
Correct. That's a more of a sign of a return to normalcy. So I'm glad that's going to be on Saturday, and then the trick or treat will actually be Sunday the 31st, which is Halloween. So
all right, we'll finish this with a little politics. Are you willing to endorse anybody for this election? You got council, you got assembly, you got all your buddies there on the Republican ticket.
Well, I'm endorsing the Republican line. I'm endorsing Ward 3 and 4. I'm not supporting the Republican candidates in 1 and 2.
What about assembly and state senator?
As I said, I'm supporting the ticket up above. Chittarelli, Holsapple, McGuckin, Catalano, Bobby Cray, and Gary Quinn, and then
we forgot about the commissioners.
Ward 3 and 4 candidates. What's that?
We forgot about the commissioners.
No, I got them. Bobby Cray and Gary Quinn.
See, that's why I'd like to see municipal elections go back to May, where the concentration and attention is on local politics instead of getting involved with the state and the county and everything else.
Well,
where May election, June runoff.
Well, the cost of running the elections, like this 10-day voting, you've got voting machines in 10 locations around the county. Problem is, when you go in, you have to sign your name on an iPad. Your signature is not going to match what's in their voting book. So they're going to ask you for ID, which is exactly what people say is restricted.
Here's the problem.
And here we're going to be paying for the voting machines, the polling workers for 10 days. We don't need it. You can vote by mail, or you can show up on election day. End of story.
I'm showing up on election day. Mo, hopefully I have you on. Hopefully I have you on before the election on November 2nd. Be good. Head down to Virginia, and I'll talk to you later.